antique swords, ornate daggers, and other interesting old weaponry tell the narrative of the previous conflicts. These finds cover hundreds of thousands of years of human history, from the Ice Age to the Middle Ages. But why were archaeologists shocked by these particular discoveries? We will find this out by exploring these 5 unexplained ancient mysteries. So without any further ado, let's dive into the video. Ornate Roman dagger. Using a metal detector, an amateur archaeologist in Switzerland unearthed an elegant dagger that belonged to a Roman soldier 2000 years ago. The discovery led to hundreds of artifacts from a forgotten conflict where Roman legionaries fought Rhaetian warriors as Rome tried to secure dominance in the area. Archaeologists believe one of these legionaries purposefully buried the dagger after the fight as sign of gratitude for the victory. Only 4 blades with identical characteristics, such as cross-shaped handles, have been discovered in old Roman areas. An ancient sword. Vittoria dell'Armelina, a student archaeologist at the time, discovered the modest weapon at the monastery of San Lazzaro degli Ermeni. Although the sword was just a few hundred years old, dell'Armelina realized it appeared more like a Bronze Age weapon than a medieval antique. She and her colleague examined the sword and discovered it was a copper arsenic alloy from the early Bronze Age. Around 5,000 years ago, Anatolia, or what is now eastern Turkey, is where swords were initially developed. The Bizarre Sword. A laborer worked in a gravel quarry in Bizarre, Romania in 2018. His employment assigned him to site's conveyor belt that day. He was surprised to see a sword among the wreckage. The man promptly handed over the relic to the appropriate authorities, which was fortunate because this was no ordinary sword. It was made around 3,000 years ago during the late Bronze period. Surprisingly, it was constructed in a mold that resulted in surface ornamentation. The blade was in good shape, measuring 47.5 centimeters, 19 inches long and 4 millimeters, 1.6 inches broad. Unfortunately, the handle had vanished. It was made of a biological substance that had disintegrated and disappeared over time. The sword was one of the most significant discoveries lately coming out of Bizarre, and it might be only the beginning. There is a likelihood that its owner, most likely a nobleman, is buried near or possibly within the gravel mine. Crystal dagger. The dagger, carved from the rock crystal, is 5,000 years old. It is about 8.5 inches long and was discovered with 10 arrowheads, 4 blades, and a weapon-making core. Rock crystals were used in all of the findings because the dagger is found distant from crystal caves. Scholars believe it was crafted by someone who paid a high price. As a result, they connected it with the upper crust. The prehistory of the Iberian Peninsula began 1.2 billion years ago with the entrance of the earliest humans. It concluded with the arrival of Phoenicians when the region entered the domains of recorded history. A poison ring. Assassin accoutrements are rare in the archaeological record. Excavation in Bulgaria in 2018 uncovered a ring that most likely murdered a few people. It was unearthed at the medieval ruins of Cape Calicra, home to the Dobrogea region's 14th century nobles. Other jewelry was discovered at Calicra, although it was a standard gold and pearl ornamentation. The bronze ring was 600 years old, exquisitely crafted and most likely imported from Spain or Italy. Surprisingly, the interior was hollow and had a side chamber. The latter was discreet and straightforward method of removing the poison from the ring. It was designed for a man's little finger and indicated that the assassin was right-handed. A short tilt would have spilled death into his victim's drink. Researchers suspect the ring is connected to an old medieval mystery. A guy named Dobrogea dominated the territory in the 14th century. According to history, several inexplicable deaths occurred around him, particularly among aristocrats and nobles. They were most likely political assassinations. These 5 historical mysteries unsolved by archaeologists provide a fascinating peek into our collective past and continue to attract the interest of specialists and enthusiasts alike. Despite the numerous theories and speculations proposed throughout the years, we still have much to learn about these mysteries, objects, and constructions. As technology and skills advance, we may one day be able to solve these puzzles and acquire a better understanding of the ancient civilizations that built them. Until then, the curious and daring must probe and decode the secrets.